What's up guys, JQ back with Tech Creation, where I use technology for recreation, back with a quick video. So we got the iPhone 11 Pro in the house. And to keep it simple, all models of the iPhone 11 have an upgraded 12 megapixel selfie camera, IP68 water resistance, 30% faster Face ID, as well as the ability to shoot 4K at 60 frames per second on both the front and back cameras. And that's pretty much where the similarities end. Then the 11 and the 11 Pro are identical except for the screen size. So that leaves me with the top tier 11 Pro Max up for discussion. Now I just want to make a quick note on how good this display looks. Both the big and small Pro models now use a Super Retina XDR OLED display, which is just a fancy mouthful for an all-new panel which now hits 800 nits of brightness, has better color accuracy, and a 2,000,000:1 contrast ratio, which is double that from the XS Max. And while all of that is appreciated, don't get me wrong, anytime I pick up a new phone, I want it to feel like a new phone. This one just doesn't excite me like that. And listening to the noise will have you thinking that the 11 Pro is a greater smartphone than it actually is. And looking at it from the front, you can't even tell which iPhone this is. It's only until you turn it around, which reveals this signature all-new camera design, which a lot of people don't like, but honestly, I have no problems with it. I think this triple camera array looks pretty cool. It sticks out a little bit, but aside from that, it doesn't bother me at all. I also love how the matte finish feels on the back, and this midnight green color looks really nice, which is why I'm preserving it this time around. I learned my lesson with the Note 10 Plus after cracking it. So to protect it, I'm using this case from Pitaka. Now they're not sponsoring this video, but they did send me out a free sample to check out. And what I like about this case is that number one, it has a slim profile, and inside such a slim profile is a built-in magnetic plate that works together with their compatible Qi wireless charging car mount. Keep in mind, they're both a bit pricey, but I'll go ahead and drop a link down below anyway in case you guys are interested. In a nutshell, this is basically just the iPhone XS with 3 new quote-unquote big features: an ultra-wide lens, night mode, and deep fusion photography. And that's about it. Now, one feature I hear a lot of people talking about is iOS 13's Quick Path feature, which is Apple's new native swipe keyboard. I keep hearing comments like, oh my god, swipe on iOS is so good. When in reality, guys, it's just as good as SwiftKey or Gboard for iOS. I'm not really into hyping up things that doesn't need to be, and I noticed that a lot of people have that same energy towards their new ultra-wide camera as well. Look, I think Apple makes great products, and the iPhone 11 Pro is a great smartphone with a great camera system. Yes, it's nice to see that the iPhone has caught up to the competition. The camera is great, and the 120-degree field of view lets you capture some great artistic photography, lets you be more creative, all that good stuff. Is this next level? Is it jaw-dropping? Not at all. I mean, my Note 10 Plus can do photography just as good with its ultra-wide lens and its 120-degree field of view, and I can pretty much recreate some of the best shots that you've seen on the iPhone 11 Pro. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'd be damned if I paid $1,200 just for an ultra-wide lens on an iPhone. So I ended up trading in my XS Max with Apple and got back $600, and I recommend you guys do the same if you're coming from the 10 or the XS lineup, because personally, I think that's the smartest thing to do. Alright, so the ultra-wide lens aside, that brings me to night mode. Now this too isn't anything new, but I will be fair and say that I was very impressed with the night mode results on the iPhone. This is what the iPhone needed to keep up with the competition when it comes to low light photography, and I think it does that very well. Now, night mode kicks in automatically when it needs to, which I love, and you could always disable it if you like, or manually control the exposure time with the max ranging from 1 second all the way to 10 seconds depending on how dark it is. And the results will depend on how steady you keep your hand and how long the exposure is. But if I were you, I wouldn't try to guess. I find that it works best on automatic. Just go ahead and let it do its thing. This shot right here was taken in a dark closet with nothing but a computer screen light bouncing off the wall, and you can see just how well it performed. For my testing, I found that it actually performed much better than my Note 10 Plus. There was less noise, more detail, and more natural color, and just overall cleaner shots. And for those who are new to this concept, this basically just opens the shutter long enough to let in more light. And naturally, details won't be as sharp compared to normal shooting conditions, but it's more than good enough for what it's intended for, and it's really meant for still photography, and I honestly cannot complain. It's good to see all major flagship smartphones now support some form of night photography. Now, this brings me to the last feature, which is Deepfusion, which is processed by Apple's A13 Bionic chip that's only found in the iPhone 11s, and I personally think Apple should have just either made this Deepfusion thing a default feature, or maybe even give us a visible glowing icon somewhere after the fact to know that it's a Deepfusion shot. Honestly, anything would have been useful because right now it's confusing as hell. So to enable this, you just need to make sure that in the camera composition settings, the photos captured outside the frame is turned off. And then moving forward, when you take pictures, Deepfusion will automatically work when it needs to, and even when it's applied, it's hard to tell. And the simplest way to explain this without getting too technical is Deepfusion combines 9 photos, and unlike the standard HDR, it combines the best pixels from each photo, resulting in a more balanced, brighter, sharper image. Shots with words or text in them, that's when it becomes obvious. But as with anything, as you start using it more, you'll know which photo has Deepfusion and which one doesn't. My only thing is that if we have to look that hard to find the difference, instead of making this an additional feature, Apple should have just made Deepfusion an auto feature that kicks in without us, the user, having to toggle with the settings. So I hate to say it, but when you really break it down and you remove all of the fluff, the only new feature of the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro is the ultra wide angle lens. And the only reason that I would upgrade is for the larger battery, because the battery life on these phones is incredible. So the iPhone 11 Pro lasts 5 hours longer than the XS Max, while the regular 11 lasts 4 hours longer than the regular XS. But aside from that, if you're not too concerned about battery life and you're not interested in wide angle photography, then I honestly cannot tell you to upgrade to the iPhone 11 Pro. The type of people who are hyping up this iPhone are the kind of people who have been with Apple all their life and they can't picture what life would be like outside of the Apple ecosystem. So if that sounds like you and iPhone is all you know, then go ahead and feel free to upgrade your iPhone every year. But for everybody else, don't waste your money on the iPhone 11 Pro. Anyway, that's it. That just about wraps it up. Let me know what you guys think about my thoughts on the iPhone 11 Pro. If you agree or disagree, drop those comments down below. Let's spark a discussion. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, show some love to that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, go ahead and make sure you subscribe and turn on those alerts. This way, YouTube notifies you whenever I drop another awesome tech video. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.